listeners. This is Nick, and I'm here to answer the most pressing question we always get. How do the Honolulu Blues stay so current with Detroit Lions news? And no, it's not because we have Brad Holmes' number yet, but it is because we are on the app Autograph. That's it. Just download the app Autograph and use the referral code GOLIONS, one word. There, you can get the latest news, articles, podcasts, and all the best content for your favorite teams, like the Red Wings, Tigers, Pistons, Wolverines, Spartans, and of course, our beloved Lions. But that's not all. The more content you read or listen to from the app, the more points you earn. Then you can use those points at chances to win free jerseys, collectibles, and even tickets, including a free ticket for the Lions vs. Rams season opener at Ford Field. Yup, just read the same articles as you would while you're at work. Just do it through the app and you could be sitting next to us at Ford Field. Make sure to get the app Autograph and use the code GOLIONS. One word. Now, let's get to the show.
Go Lions! Their first dub of the season, baby. And I got my pom-pom to celebrate.
Yeah, you do. We need to
And,
get you a flag, dude.
so-
We need to get you a flag again.
I know. What I realized
Pom-poms are cool for, like, you know, my 8-year-old daughter, but, like, men need a flag, bro.
Hey, this ain't just any ordinary pom-pom.
Oh, all right. Touche. I got my
You
flag.
see all that wear and tear, baby? So
That's
I was
historic, bro. That's
pumping this
historic.
thing, man. I was going crazy.
Dude, at the playoff game I went to, they gave out these towels right here. The poor dude was sitting behind me, man. I was getting roped in the face every half a second. I just couldn't stop. That's exactly it, Adam. I was just, whoop, I felt so bad. His son had to be like, dude, you gotta stop. And I was like, dude, move. I don't know what to tell you. I ain't stopping. You're lucky I'm not standing on my seat right now, like freaking out. So that's
What is going on, everybody? We are the Honolulu Blues, hosted by yours truly today, as we got Nick and Julius joining on. We got the three boys together, the mean trio. I know we got to think of a cool little trio name for us. That was kind of lame. But you guys get where I'm going with this. You get where I'm going with this. We have an awesome show for you guys. We're going to do a little recap of this awesome victory and then preview the first home game of the NFL season. So without further ado, let's just dive right into it. First things first. What do we think of this Pat Mahomes around the back pass? Do you actually think that he was trying to punish Travis Kelce because he ran the wrong route, or is this just Mahomes just trying to take advantage of what he maybe still thinks is an SOL Lions, but he learned in the end that no, Dan Campbell doesn't lose to Andy Reid.
eat dubs. I'll run out Julius with this question. I don't think he's trying to punish Travis Kelce. Sure, Kelce ran the thinking. I think it was a really smart play. We have seen Patrick Mahomes practice this offseason. There had been clips of him practicing this in the offseason. This was not a surprise to me. It was to the entire world who didn't see the clip, but it was no surprise to me when this happened. It was a very cool play. Shout out Pat Mahomes. Like, that is a really respectable, like, really cool play. It really is. My biggest conundrum with this is, like, why the hell would Pat Mahomes show this in the preseason? Like, teams will now, I understand it's still super hard to, like, protect against that. Like, it's almost going to be impossible, but that's just one little, like, one play where now teams are going to, like, actually prepare. And if you put one play in practice to practice against that, that helps your odds a little bit. Where if he hadn't have done that and the teams he goes up against just doesn't practice against it, then he has that, like, in a game that matters. That would be super cool for him to, like, Like, and we've seen him do crazy plays, and Andy Reid do crazy plays in the Super Bowl, in the regular season, in the playoffs. Like, I honestly thought he was kind of like, I want the most vanilla preseason. I love what the Lions do. We just don't do anything. We literally just run off tackle or inside zone for 80 plays a game, and we're like, yeah, let's see what happens. I like that. Don't give anything to any of the other teams. And I think that happened. I don't know if we're going to see that again in the season, because teams will now be a little bit prepared for it. When it happened, I was quite upset and annoyed, but ultimately it is a really cool play. I'm not going to try to put it down. Like, that was cool. Sucks that it was against the Lions and we were the ones on the ones going viral on defense, but whatever.
Well, Julius, I'm going to cut you off there because we don't need to be talking about Pat Mahomes this whole show.
Right.
Preview that a bit. But one other quarterback that really stood out that we're just going to jump right into it. Hendon Hooker, boys. I know we'll hop around this whole game. So Hendon Hooker, he looked sharp. He looked very good. He looked like a dude that can absolutely be our QB2. He was 12 for 15, 150 yards. Just an overall great game. Had a nice rushing touchdown as well. Didn't go crazy like he did, trucking people last game. So, Julius, what was a couple standouts that Hendon Hooker did that you really liked, other than just having a solid outing, I guess?
I mean, we talked about it on last show. I mean, he was the main guy we're going to be watching. And as far as I'm concerned, Nate Sudfeld days are numbered. Matter of fact, he's not the quarterback 2 no more. Nate Sudfeld's the quarterback 3. He'd be lucky to make the team. Hopefully, he never has to take a snap. But Hendon Hooker pretty much validated everything we hoped we'd see. He was accurate. He was in control. Outside, I think the first couple of throws a little shaky. Looks like he's getting comfortable with the offense. That's exactly what we want. I feel a lot better, boys, about our quarterback 2 situation now. I feel like I felt when we drafted him. I felt like we had to upgrade at quarterback 2, maybe even a future quarterback, which I believe. If God forbid, if he has to play in the regular season, if golf goes down, I feel much better about our prospects as a team continuing to, especially with Ben Johnson as offensive coordinator. I just feel like him and Dan Campbell unlock the best out of their offensive players, especially their quarterbacks. So I feel very 1,000% better about Hendon Hooker and the quarterback 2 spot than I did last week.
Yeah, I concur. I don't know if you were about to ask another question, Adam, but I'm about to jump in on this because I want to talk Hendon Hooker too.
I love more the merrier.
Well, 0 for 2 to start, went 13 for 4 or 12 for 13 or something like that to finish the game. Ran the ball, didn't try to run like Derrick Henry. It was awesome, right? He did not throw the pass to Caden Davis, right? That was
Sudfeld.
It was Suckfeld. Okay.
And it was, nothing impressive.
No, Caden Davis, dude. He did it all, man. That's my boy right there. He's going to make the roster. Watch out, boys. I wish I would have picked him as my MVP instead of Hooker. But anyways, I loved Hendon Hooker. Like, I did. He was it. Julius just hit the nail on the head right there. I am so, I was a little worried after the Giants game. I liked how he was running, but I was like, that's just not what I need to see. I want to see how he can throw this ball, how this is going to happen in a wet, rainy day. Let's see what happens. And he didn't really do much. Against the Chiefs, the dude came to play, and it was so fun. I am still so annoyed that we are not giving him reps as the starter against opposing starters, or at least second stringers, third stringers. He's getting these fourth, fifth stringers. I do not care for that at all. I was happy that we left him in for the whole second half and we didn't bring Jake Fromm in. I was disgusted that Hendon Hooker almost lost the game, though, and I'm not going to let us bypass that. On a 3rd and 4, when all you need to do is run the ball up the middle for a yard to kick the field goal to take the lead at least, we fumble it on one of the worst handoffs I've ever seen. I don't care if it's preseason. It was the dude hit him right here. He hit Bam Knight right here trying to hand the ball off. What? No, Hooker, come on, stop. But other than that, and that pissed me off. Luckily, we got the ball back. We won. I was happy. Other than that, Hendon Hooker looked really good. Get those handoffs ready because Campbell ain't going to play if you can't hand the ball off. It don't matter. No one's going to play if you can't do that. So figure that out. I don't want to ever see that again. But great performance from Hendon Hooker. It really was.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a little rookie moment for him. He was like it was a little bit of a high snap. And on that, if you're like a big mobile quarterback that close to the goal line, he should have just caught it and just ducked and ran in himself. But he caught it like here, then handed it off, high. And it was just a fumbled exchange that thought, was going to be a Lions, shooting themselves in the foot like the olden days. But no. We held strong, got them to a nice little 3 and out. And what really happened is we set up what we all kind of wanted to see happen. And that was that Jake Bates opportunity to win the game with no time left, because we saw early he looked phenomenal. Hit the 55-yarder or 55-yarder, something like that. It was over 50. Right off the bat, and then he missed the extra points, followed up. And everyone was like, oh, no. Oh, gosh, this is who he's going to be. He's going to be hitting 50-yarders and missing extra points. And I think that 40-yard game winner really, helped people, stay tempered, and not kind of rush to conclusions. And by doing that, it's like a little bit longer than an extra point. If you can hit, a kick to go off, win the game, walk off the game in, the Chiefs Stadium, because all their, 8,000 fans remaining, they were going crazy. It wasn't jam-packed like Ford Field will be this week, but they were, hooting and hollering. So it was a nice little, test for him. And so far, he's checked the boxes. I give him a small pass for the missed extra point because of the field goals. But if we do see more missed extra points like this next game, then maybe that's when you can start to worry. So I'm hoping the Lions could score, like 7 touchdowns. Jake Bates goes 7 for 7 on extra points. Doesn't need to kick a field goal. He's already got his field goals in on the preseason. So overall, him and Hendon Hooker had solid outings. But couple other guys that stood out. Let's look at the wide receivers. We had a couple that are really fighting for that wide receiver 3 spot. The biggest was Isaiah Williams, led the team in receptions and targets, had 6 for 71, 8 targets with a long of 37. So, Nick, where's some, thoughts on Isaiah Williams? I know you're a big Caden Davis guy, and he did have the long 61-yard touchdown, but you think Isaiah Williams has a, outside shot to make this team?
I think he has the most inside shot to make this team because, look, we're going to keep 5 receivers. I think Donovan Peoples-Jones is the 3rd. He's going to be – if he didn't have Nate Sudfeld thrown to him, I truly do think he would be looking better right now. Like, I do think in our eyes, after watching 2 preseason – we don't know the practices, but in our eyes from the preseason games, if it was Goff throwing to him or Hooker throwing to him, he would look a lot better than he is right now. Sudfeld has given him some of the worst passes I've ever seen. So I do think DPJ is like locked in, and along with Khalif, those are our 4. And then I think that 5th receiver is what we're battling for. And it's either Isaiah Williams, is it Caden Davis? Is it going to be Tom Kennedy? Is it going to be guys like Traquan Smith or who fumbled it last game, Jalen Calhoun? Like any of these guys, obviously not Calhoun after he made that freaking error in the return game, but ultimately those guys fighting for the wide receiver 5. And I think Isaiah Williams leads that. What I want, what I don't want, but what I want is Isaiah Williams to make the team. I don't know. It's hard to say this, but I want to see Hooker and Isaiah Williams together in a regular season game because their connection is like lovers. It's like honestly, like that's a Taylor Swift reference too. I think they are connected at the hip, and I think it's very Cooper Kupp, Matt Stafford-esque, but I'm on 5th string backups like that. There is a connection between those two. I don't know if Isaiah Williams is going to be that great when Jared Goff throws to him. I don't know how their connection is, but I do know that Hendon Hooker and Isaiah Williams connection is immaculate in my opinion. So I think Isaiah Williams is the favorite right now.
I like it. Julius, you agree, or you think someone else is kind of leading that 5th spot?
I'm still not fully sure, but I guess I do agree. Just based on
I threw you off. I'm sorry. I was just trying to plan around. I saw solo layout and was like, what does this do?
That's what it is.
That's what it does. I threw you off. My bad. What were you saying?
But that's all good. DPJ, I think that Campbell, I listened to the press conference earlier. It sounds like they like Khalif Raymond's role as the primary kick returner, but they don't want him to be a full-time wide receiver 3. And I think that's based off size and durability. I think they just want a bigger receiver. And if that's the case, it's either going to be DPJ, like you said, Nick, or they're going to sign somebody else off the street, somebody who gets cut, or maybe even a trade. I don't know what Brad Holmes got cooking. We all know when it comes to wide receiver acquisitions, we still don't fully trust him. The very few areas we don't. But I love Isaiah Williams' performance. I think he has a lot of juice. I think he can fill in the same kind of he can get the same kind of reps that Khalif Raymond gets in games for a spell here and there. I think he's leading the way right now if they don't sign anybody else for that wide receiver 5. So I'm not too worried. I'm ready to see Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams because we act like we done forgot that we actually got those guys, you know. Sam Laporta, you know, that's our big receiver if we're talking about, you know, red zone guys and big time receivers you want to just lob it up to. Still got Sam, we got Brock Wright. You know, I'm just trying not to worry about it too much. I feel like out of the 3 positions we highlighted last week, quarterback 2, wide receiver 3, and kicker. Wide receiver 3 is the only position of those 3 that we're moving forward still questionable about. So that's where we stand.
Yeah, I agree.
I like it. Now we got some running back talk. It was kind of interesting. Only 3 true running backs got carries in this game. And by true running backs, I mean like guys that only play the running back position because Isaiah Williams took actually 4 if you want to count Craig Reynolds 1 rush. But, Isaiah Williams took a handoff. Nate Sudfeld rushed, Hooker rushed, Tom Kennedy had 1. But the big standout, I think we know who it was. Sione Vaki looked phenomenal. I will say Bam Knight looked, reasonable, solid, 5th, 6th practice squad type dude. If we need him to come up, that'd be huge. But Vaki, I said it last show, maybe 2 shows ago, that this dude was giving me Theo Riddick vibes. And I felt it more than ever. I feel like he's going to be our, 3rd little sneaky gadget player that just comes in, screen passes over the middles. Just when all eyes are on Amon-Ra, J-Mo, Gibbs, Montgomery, Laporta, it's going to be a little just Vaki sneaking out, dump down, 60-yard touchdown pass. And I do believe that he'll make at least, 1 to 2 major impact plays. I don't think he's going to be, getting all sorts of snaps, getting all sorts of touches. But when he does, I think it's going to impact the game one way or another. So, Nick, receiving end or rushing end, what were you more impressed that Vaki did?
More impressed with receiving just from yesterday or from Saturday. And I was but overall, extremely impressed with him. And I mean this, and I tweeted this, and I'll repeat it. Literally, anytime he catches the ball for like 6 or 7 yards, I'm running around my house just yelling, "There goes my hero." And it is just like, he is my man, dude. Like, I might get a Vaki jersey just because, like, I believe in this dude. And I don't want him to fucking play. Isn't that crazy? Like, if anything, wide receiver 5, I guess, but I don't want him to see the field over Gibbs or Monty, maybe for a run, but there is never a point in time I need him to start a game because that means hell is breaking loose right now and not good. But I love the kid. I don't know who said, I thought one of us said it, but maybe I'm just thinking of something else. Maybe I was just doing another Lions podcast. Did someone say that he's going to beat out Craig Reynolds for running back 3 or no?
I think we talked about that.
I didn't know. Maybe I asked that question when I was hosting. I can remember. Regardless, he's gonna. Like, I love Craig Reynolds, but Vaki is the dude. Like, Vaki is the dude. Like, this is your pass-catching running back that you want. We go make him play safety if we need to. So, I don't know. I love Vaki. I loved what I saw from him. I'm so excited for him. I truly might get a Vaki jersey just because he might be like my new, like, Brandon Inge favorite player type. Like,
I'll tell you what, Nick, why get a Vaki jersey when you can go get a carry-on jersey for like $5 and slap a Vaki on the back of it?
True. Maybe. Yeah, that's true.
Julius, what are some thoughts on your boy Vaki?
Vaki is indeed my boy. Ever since he was drafted, I had a good feeling about the kid. Honestly, I'm ready to anoint him as the Amon-Ra St. Brown of this draft class. Like he could be a future star, I think. I honestly think that he was one of those Brad Holmes diamonds in the roughs. And luckily he wasn't a receiver because Brad Holmes ain't proved himself in that arena yet. But as far as the running back position, you're right. I don't want him to start. He'll be the running back 3, but you can bring him in all kind of formations, all kind of little gadget plays. He can block, put him on special teams. I see some fake punts, with Vaki with the ball in his hands. I'm just really excited to have him on a team. I might get his jersey as well, and I could see maybe next season. It depends. I'm not sure how Monty's contract
next year will be his last year, I believe. I think it was a 3-year.
There we go. That's Vaki's opening right there. Because Jahmyr Gibbs will never be a bell cow. So I think Vaki his time is definitely coming. But I see some fun moments in his rookie season coming up. I can guarantee it.
And for anyone listening, we just threw up a comment put in for anyone watching live. Make sure you throw your comments in. But this is from our boy Justin Rasmussen here. Throw an NFL Network was saying he will be talking about Vaki. He will be a Monty down the road helping out Gibbs, and that's why Julius was saying that. And it's an interesting idea that Gibbs and Vaki could be a dynamic 1-2 punch, my boys. But I love Monty, and I'm not ready to get rid of him. I'm not ready. I love him. I love the guy.
Monty could go for like 1,300 yards this season, to be honest.
Yeah. All of our running backs could. Shit, you and me could. All 3 of us could go for
behind that O-line. No problem. But before we get into this Pittsburgh preview, let's talk the defense a little bit because we kind of looked pretty good on the pass rush. We had 3 sacks overall. Your boy Matthew Betts had a sack, and then the biggest one, I would say Josh Paschal had a nice sack that I want to say was the one that it would have led to us winning the game if Hendon Hooker didn't fumble it. But I want to say we either had back-to-back sacks or back-to-back really good pressures on the quarterback. I know the last one was a sack, and that was Paschal. And he looked like he could, be a solid pass rusher. But I guess – Julius, we'll spit it to you because we know who Nick's going to talk about. But what defender, impressed you the most? I know you did pick Vildor as your defensive MVP. So are you still sticking with that, or do you think there was a different MVP?
Well, real quick, shout out to Justin. Yes, they can put me at QB3. I would gladly accept that role on the Lions team. I can guarantee you I throw a better fade route than Nate Sudfeld. So shout out to Justin there. But back to defense. It's funny. I feel like the defensive line depth we were way more worried about in a couple preseason games ago. But in these 2 preseason games, these reserve pass rushers have really shown up. So you're not worried about it as much. I still want to see a little bit more from our inside defensive line depth, kind of like the Broderick Martin types and the Mekhi Wingos. But overall, I'm very satisfied. I feel like our defense is definitely set to improve this year.
Yeah, we did have a couple, guys that, I haven't really heard their names, but I do remember this dude, Isaac Okuwu. He had a sack last game, too. So that's on back-to-back games with sacks.
He's going to make the roster, dude. Out of nowhere, he's going to make the roster.
He
might make it over James Houston.
That would be interesting.
Might be spicy, but it might be. But I'm telling you guys, don't be surprised if it happens.
What are some thoughts on the defense, Nick? You still hyping up Betts? He had that big sack.
You coming in? I think my kiddo wants to say,
"Let's go Lions!"
Yeah.
Let's go Lions.
Jay.
Bye.
Bye. What do I got to say about the defense? I got to say this. I gotta say that, dude. Defense. Oh, I can't wait to just be shouting that. It was superb. Patrick Mahomes, Got Amik Robertson. He burnt him. Xavier Worthy, his first touchdown. That was Amik. And right after, too, I think it was like 2 plays after Amik made an amazing play. I was like, oh, Amik, dude, he's going to be so good. And then he got burnt pretty badly. It was not good. What it showed me was that Xavier Worthy, I might have to be drafting that dude on my fantasy team. Like that boy fast, dude. That boy fast.
He's no Sky Moore, that's for sure.
He's no Sky. He had a pretty good return too, man. Western Michigan Bronco. But other than that, held Patrick Mahomes to 2 field goals. For like a couple plays, they just went boom, boom right down the field the first drive, and then held them. You know, they scored the next one, then they went down again, and we held them. Sure, we're letting up 13 points but these are our backups against their starters, and still we held them to 2 field goals and a touchdown. I love that, dude. I did not come into this expecting Iku, or however you say his name, and Kindle Vildor to stop with no Rodriguez, no starters. Like, I was not expecting us to shut these guys 1, 2, 3. You know, they were going to score points on us. That's fine. I knew it was going to happen. Ultimately, I thought we were very impressive. Matthew Betts, my fucking boy, just doing the job, dude. When he like bear hugged the sack too for Wentz, it was great. I am so excited for the depth, which is just crazy. It's crazy that like these podcasts that we're doing now 3 or 4 years later are talking so highly about our depth players.
We'd be playing Jeopardy for the 3rd time 3 years ago.
Wait, what'd you say?
We'd be playing Jeopardy on this show for the 3rd time if this was 5 years ago.
3rd preseason game? What should we talk about? I don't know. Let's do another Jeopardy show. Ain't nothing to talk about. I do not want to talk about Jeff Driscoll. But I love that that's what we are talking about. I love how excited I am getting watching the 4th quarter of the 2nd preseason game. Like, it is so fun to know all 90 players on the team, to have like a personal investment with every single player. It's going to hurt more when we get down to 53 men, but just watching these games is so exciting. And our defense. Great, dude. It was just great. I loved everything about it. Offense was fun to watch. I cared. I was having more fun watching our defense against the starters. I really was. Even if we were down 13-3 or whatever when they pulled their starters, like that time, those 3 drives were so impactful, in my opinion, on our bench players. So I was happy.
Yeah, being able to stop Mahomes twice when he was like in the red zone for sure, maybe inside the 10 both times, but he was definitely in scoring position, held him to 3 both times. Yep. The backups did that. That was a nice bounce back from giving up that big play to Worthy. But yeah, overall, Lions defense, offense played a special teams actually too, with Jack Fox 71-yard bomb, would have been his longest of his career. It was regular season. Jake Bates doing his thing. So, Nick, what do we got for these MVPs? Who do you think won it, and recap it for us?
Yeah, just to remind everyone, last week, we've been doing this every week, and I'm going to try to keep doing this every week. Adam has a 1-0 lead by winning our MVP predictions last week. This week, we'll start with the scores instead of the MVPs. Let's just remind everyone what everyone thought was going to happen. Adam said Kansas City will win 24-17. Wrong. Julius said Kansas City would win 28-10. Wrong. Your old boy, only guy who still had faith, who said earlier this year that he would never, ever, ever predict another Lions loss, which is why the only reason that I even got this right. I predicted a 19-17 victory for the Lions. I'll take that one home. That was good. But for the MVPs, we'll start with Julius, who last week did terrible at his MVP picks. So let's see if he picked it up this week. He went with his boy, Sion Vaki, at offensive MVP. And that I think there's an argument for 3 players that could be MVP, and he is absolutely in that argument. He goes 8 total touches, 82 total yards. That's off of, I think it was 6 catches and 2 carries, something like that. Then he went with Kindle Vildor for defensive MVP, 2 tackles, played well, there was a couple things I noticed that I didn't love from Vildor, but again, if he's our 5th string cornerback, I love having that.
He had an excellent ankle tackle, like the first play of the game. They did a nice little screen pass. He went down low and just wrapped up and didn't let go.
Love to see that. I love to see that. So Julius, a way better effort this week than last week. He's in the running with his Vaki offensive MVP. Vildor, 2 tackles. We'll see what happens. Adam, yes, last week's winner went with Tom Kennedy instead of my boy Caden Davis, which you should have did, but you didn't. Tom Kennedy came out with 3 catches, 31 yards.
Couple big first downs, though.
Couple big first downs. That's 0.5 points in fantasy right there. So you know what I mean? If you're playing preseason fantasy, you got some points from him. And his defensive MVP was Broderick Martin, 1 tackle, 2 assists, but really did play an impactful role on holding the Chiefs to those 2 field goals, as he didn't allow Isaiah Pacheco to really get through the middle on any of the runs they tried to do. So very impactful. Broderick Martin on the stat boards. We just see 1 tackle, 2 assists. Me, I took the low-hanging fruit on offense. I took Hendon Hooker after Julius passed on him. He goes 12 for 15, 150 yards, 5 rushes for 11 yards. I think he's in the argument for MVP, but for offensive MVP, I would have probably even give it to either Caden Davis or Sion Vaki. But then I also went with Matthew Betts on the defensive side, who came away with 1 tackle, 1 sack, big sack. So what do we think? Where do we?
I don't know, Nick. I think you might have had the warmest offensive defensive combo.
Yeah, that's kind of what I feel. If Vaki would have had a touchdown, I feel like Julius probably could have won that one. But Hooker's rushing,
or Kendall Vildor would have had a pick, would have helped out. But
cool. Well, I will take the victory. I got to win. Adam's got to win. We'll see if Julius can pull one out in the last preseason game. If not,
he's killing me, man. It's killing me.
Killing him. It's a who knows, you know what I mean? Why don't we just get into our predictions for this week's MVP and score, and then we can talk about the game. You know what I mean? We're already here. Let's just get them down. Julius, without a win, you're still going first, so you get the low-hanging fruit. Who's your offensive MVP this week, and who's your defensive MVP this week?
I appreciate the low-hanging fruit, Nick. I'm going to go ahead and nail in my offensive MVP as Hendon Hooker. I believe Dan Campbell said at his press conference today that he's an ideal starter against Pittsburgh. That's all I need to hear. I expect Hooker to dump Sudfeld out the door as the quarterback too. And then on defense, give me about 3 seconds to marinate. A lot of few names. I'm gonna go with Brandon Joseph because I feel like he is still fighting for one of those last 3 or 4 roster spots there on the back end of that defense, and he's been in the league a few years now, and I feel like this is his shot. So, Hendon Hooker, Brandon Joseph,
and then give us a score too.
As a score, it's gonna be rocking Ford Field. So I'm going to predict the Lions win just based off the environment. So I'm going to go Lions 28, Pittsburgh 10.
Too many points for preseason. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, Nick, you got that right. You've been studying your preseason. It seems like literally 80% of these games have went under. And a little sports betting tip, get ready for next week of under, because I feel like the 3rd preseason game is the most likely, because everyone is like, all right, well, we've made it this far. No starters. And if you do play, it's not going to be a full first quarter. It's not going to be a half. It's going to be 1 drive. That's it. So I think the score is going to be a little low scoring. I do think we're going to get 2 touchdowns and a field goal. I'm going to go back to 17 for the Lions, but this time they are going to be on the winning side of 17. I'm going to go 17-10 Lions. And offensive defensive MVP, I'm going to go with a guy that we were just talking about that's looking like he's making an outside shot, turning it in, and that is my man Isaac Okuwu. Didn't really hear this guy early on the season, but has had a couple last 2 preseason games, has impressed. Back-to-back sacks, looking good. And I think this is a guy that is starting to realize, hey, I might be able to, steal a roster spot. And if he can have another solid outing, it's going to be hard for Dan Campbell to say no, especially with, just all our defensive line injuries, struggles, and whatnot. So Isaac Okuwu and offense. Julius took the low-hanging, the minus 500 pick on offense. So I will go with the other guy that's probably like minus 450, and that's Isaiah Williams, the other low-hanging fruit. Got to make sure Nick doesn't win another one. Had a great outing, 8 targets, 6 for 71. And if Hooker does start this game, I'm sure Williams will be playing the majority or the entire length of, his play time with Hooker. And if that's the case, then all signs point up. So give me Isaiah Williams.
All right. My score prediction, I'm going to go with the Lions winning. Surprise. And I'll take Lions 16, Justin Fields and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right, we're playing Justin Fields again. Oh,
we're going to talk about it. 1 sec. We just got to get through this. I'm going to say they get 16-13, Lions victory. Offensive MVP, you guys are giving me the low-hanging fruit, so I'll keep taking it. You know who's going to get his first touchdown of his career? Dione Vake. So we'll just run that right back. Defense, I really just want to go with Matthew Betts again because I've done it for 2 weeks in a row, and it's like at this point, why the hell not? I was going to go with Brandon Joseph, but that was stolen right out from under me. I love the Okuwu pick. I was not thinking about that, but that's a super smart pick. Trying to kind of stall so I can really run it through my head here. I think I am going to go back to Matthew Betts. Why not, dude? If it's not broke, don't fix it, dude. Run back to the well, dude. It ain't dry yet, dude. It ain't dry yet. So Matthew Betts, offense, Vake, defense. We'll see how that goes after the game on Saturday. Speaking of, Adam.
Yeah, Justin Fields coming to town. Didn't even realize that. And Russell Wilson, too, who I feel like dominated the Lions. But
there's no way Russell plays.
Probably not. But Justin Fields, yeah, he'll definitely play. Truly one of the funniest moments that could happen is Fields rolls out of the pocket, breaks 2 tackles, does something crazy, and just tries to throws this ball away. And who's he throw the ball away to? None other than Aiden Hutchinson, standing in sweatpants and a hoodie. Boom! And just snags that and smiles at him.
That's so great.
So, yes, it will be nice to see the Lions go against a true running quarterback. That will be good for us to get some, looks because we didn't really play anyone in the Chiefs. Carson Wentz, Ian Book weren't really taking off running. And then totally drawing a blank on who we played week 1. The Giants. And Tommy DeVito and Drew Lock weren't, doing much. No. So, yeah, it's going to be nice. A nice little test on Fields to see what the contain looks like. To see how Aaron Glenn can scheme up against it. Make sure that Fields doesn't, do his, 13 carries, 162 yards, and a touchdown because he did that to us a couple times. Even though Lions did win the games, Fields did, tear it up on the field. So as long as, that's the case, the Lions defense is just kind of giving up that to Fields, and we are just saying, run all you want. You're not going to pass it on us. Then I'll be fine with that. But it will be interesting to see. I also think the Steelers are just going to not play any of their starters. They lost their starting center already. Jaylen Warren pulled his hamstring and is now questionable for week 1. Najee has dealt with foot injuries, time in, time out, so I don't think he plays. I doubt we're going to see George Pickens. Maybe we'll get some Van Jefferson, which would probably be our best wide receiver to cover. But other than that, we're going up against Mike Tomlin, and this is a dude that just doesn't ever have losing seasons, and that's a fact. He just wins with whoever he has. Mason Rudolph, Ben Roethlisberger, Kenny Pickett, whoever. He could get the job done. So it'll be another great test for Dan Campbell. He already took down Andy Reid, so if we could cap things off with a Ford Field Lions win over, a Mike Tomlin-led team, I'll absolutely take that.
It is going to be electric in Ford Field. I think I was saying this in our prediction show or whatever way back a few months ago. It's going to be sold out. It's going to be electric for the first half, dude. It is going to be nuts. Like I wish I was going to be there. I will not be there. I will be up in Mount Pleasant, but it will be a very fun game to be at. I am so interested Okay, so we go from one bear to another bear. Justin Fields, ex-bear, ran all over us in years past. It's just true. It's facts, boys. The dude had like 180 rushing yards against us every week. Did you all see Caleb Williams last week? The motherfucker was running. He can scoot. He can scoot in that pocket behind the line of scrimmage, which makes me scared. Probably wasn't going up against starters. I don't know too much about who, like I don't know who was playing in that game. But it looks like Caleb Williams can run. And if we can't contain Justin Fields yet again, I am going to be quite nervous when we play Caleb Williams for that aspect. Not about winning or losing, but just containing him before he wants to run all over. I think this is a really cool matchup. Like, I'm very excited. I don't care about the win or loss or anything. I care mostly about what we can do on defense to contain Justin Fields rushing. And then I will need to see Hendon Hooker be electric per usual. And Julius, which is something I didn't hear. Did you say Dan Campbell said he's going to be starting this week against Pittsburgh?
Yeah, he said he's the ideal starter for this game. So
does that mean Sudfeld isn't playing or playing second, or Jake Fromm?
I think Sudfeld's going to be. He's still on the roster, so I'm guessing he's going to be the backup. He's going to be coming in later. If he comes in at all, maybe Hooker plays the whole game.
Fromm though too.
Hooker should play all 4 quarters. I don't give a bananas about Jake Fromm, dude, or Nate Sudfeld. So that's really interesting. I need to see Hooker be awesome. I need to see our defense contain Fields' rushing, and I want to see Isaiah Williams, Caden Davis, or Donovan Peoples-Jones with Hendon Hooker be just as electric as we saw him last week. Those are the big 3 takeaways that I'm going to be watching for, and that's kind of really it. Obviously, I'm going to be watching our defensive backs, our interior D line, the backups, kind of see how they run, see how Broderick Martin is playing, see how he does. I love watching him against the run because I think he's trying to be a mini Aleem McNeil. So I'm very excited to see kind of that happen before our eyes. But those are my 3 big takeaways for this game, and I'm very excited. And then lastly is just the fans. I don't care if it's preseason. I want those fans going nuts. Lit, dude. I need to see it, man. I need it.
We've been holding it in since last year when we walked off the field in victory against Tampa Bay. I know, even though it's a preseason game, it's going to be fire in that stadium. And real quick, not that long ago, I think we all forgot, and this great point with Justin Fields, that the Lions' biggest weakness was stopping running quarterbacks.
Yep.
That never really went away, that moniker.
No,
we didn't really get.
Brock Purdy ran all over us in the second half.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Yeah. So it's a great point to see if we can shut, because Justin Fields, we already know he can go off for 200 yards on a couple read options.
Sure, absolutely.
And
yeah,
we still win.
I think the most important thing to containing a running quarterback is Caleb Williams feels like slippery to me. He doesn't feel like a quick, electric Lamar Jackson type dude. He's just like that smooth, pocket awareness. You'll get one hand on his shoulder and he moves up, and then he's got more space, and then dude starts coming at him and he releases or whatever. And so I feel like if the Lions can just make more plays to where it's the moment we get a hand on you, that's a sack. You're done. Game over. So if we can do that, or just have, Fields move around, then it leads to a sack. Perfect. But I don't want to see any things to what, granted, I'm comparing Justin Fields to Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams, we all saw that throw. It was the pocket presence was amazing. He stepped up, kind of moved around, and even on the run, he knew, he felt the pressure, and that's signs of, a good quarterback. So if we could figure out how to eliminate that, essentially, that'll be huge.
It's going to be really tough against Caleb Williams and the Bears. They have a really good defense. And the thing is they have very veteran receivers who, when he dances around in the pocket, will find open spaces.
Yeah.
It's going to be scary, boys. It's going to be I think I'm more nervous about the Bears than I am the Packers this year, honestly. And I think Kevin O'Connell is one of the best offensive minded head coaches in the NFL. I'm just and so the Vikings always kind of scare me, but I think the Bears, I know they're trash and we're going to dog them as much as we can all season, but
yeah, it's going to be tough. I will say Matt Eberflus, I don't think he's one of the better head coaches. So I do think that's that a little bit going for us. But what I think is ultimately going to happen is a probably a 6-11 season. Bears have some good games, but ultimately it's like Eberflus.
Adam, they're gonna fire everybody if they win 6 games because
I
they are expecting a winning
That's what's
season.
gonna happen.
They're
They're
expecting a
gonna clean
winning
house
season.
and go get Lane.
don't
Kiffin.
know. What if they got Ben Johnson?
I don't think I don't.
Sacrilege.
They pay, man,
Sacrilege.
money's money, and
Nick,
that's a
I
good
can't
team
believe
to
you
go
bring these
to.
takes to the
That
show.
would be a good
If
team.
Ben Johnson
Caleb Williams.
goes to the Bears, I promise to God, I'll be heartbroken.
All right. Lions
I'll be
win the
so
Super
mad.
Bowl, and Ben Johnson goes to the Bears. Do we
I'll take that.
I'll take
I
that.
take that.
Yeah,
But when
I
Ben
would- all right,
Johnson-
Lions. No,
Ben
not
Johnson
win,
can go anywhere he wants. We win the Super Bowl this season.
Yep.
Not win. We just go to the Super Bowl.
Hell
Nope.
no, we need to win it.
No, we got
Alright.
it. We got
All
it.
right. Yeah, that's the only thing I'd give up Ben Johnson for is a Super Bowl victory.
To go to the Bears, we must win the Super Bowl. Ben
To be all
Johnson.
honest, if the Bears get rid of Eberflus, wouldn't we all agree that is the most prized head coach?
Sure.
Yeah.
Caleb
Sure.
Williams there under
Yeah.
contract for 4 more years.
As long as he doesn't look like Bryce Young in his rookie season, because it's funny. They were showing like some throws Caleb Williams had made this preseason, very impressive. And Bryce Young made a few of the same ones last year preseason, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, he's about to take over Carolina." Didn't work out that way. Now Bryce Young did have Keenan Allen and DJ Moore.
No, he had Adam Thielen
Thielen
and
and
I don't even know.
Bob
DJ
Johnson.
Shark. I don't know who was on there.
Yeah, DJ Chark for like 4 games.
It's a little bit different of a story, but yeah,
Jonathan Mingo.
Jonathan Mingo, who
Yeah,
could be a
huh.
sleeper in fantasy this year.
Well, boys and girls, that should do it for us. As always, you can check us out on Twitter or X at Honolulu Blues _. Check us out individually at Nick Faber NFL for my boy Nick, and check out the 5th top for Julius. And
What are
every
you
day,
rating, Julius?
The great city of Detroit flag.
Way to go, dude! I didn't even
Very
know that was a thing.
Got a rep the
Julius up to his
313.
flag game. I'm over here with a freaking pom-pom, and Julius with a Detroit, a cold classic, hand sewn.
From the ashes we shall arise, my friends.
Hey,
I
all day,
love
baby.
it.
Detroit versus everybody.
I love it.